is Shirrell with Imshirr DIY. Welcome to my channel. I guess you're wondering, why is she talking so fast? She never talks that fast. Why is she talking that fast? Well, I'll tell you why. I don't have time to waste today. I have double the fun. I'm ready to get started. Yes, if you stay until the end, there's a bonus for you. And if you like my channel, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm ready to go. Are you? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is get things prepped for this project with the wood. So I will start with, this is a 1x4 and it comes in several inches, like 80, 90, I'm not sure. It's taller than me, it's like lots of wood. But I had them to cut it down for me while I was in the store to 21.5 inches. You'll get probably several pieces, but so you don't have to do that. I just know that I'll need it later. But for this, you'll need two 21.5 inch pieces. And I have this third one because they were all cut to 21.5, so I'll have to cut it myself. But actually, you can ask them to cut you two 7-inch pieces from this 1x4, because you'll need two of those. So I will get those cut myself. Lastly, you'll need, this is a picket fence board, and you'll need this for the base of it. So from the bottom up, you need 21.5 inches of this. You just need one, just one. So probably about, I don't know, I won't guess. But anyway, 21.5 inches is what you'll cut off. Okay, now that we've gotten the two pieces cut that needed to be cut, it's time to start knocking off all of the rough edges and getting rid of anything that could possibly cause splinters or whatever. And you want it to be smooth to the touch. So that's what I'll do right now. I have this sander and I have 120 grit sandpaper. And if you don't have a sander, just feel free to do it by hand because it's really not that bad. Put it all together and allow it time to dry. So you take the base, which is the 1x6, 21.5 inch, put it down. The 21.5 inch 1x4 will go on the outside of this. It should be the same length. And the other side goes on the other side. The two 7 inches will go on each side. And everything should be measured properly and cut properly so that it could fit just right. So what I will do, I'll use wood glue to get it started. And we'll start with one of the sides, but what I will also do, so what I'll do, I'll put the glue on here, not on the other one. I'll put it on here. And what I will also do, I plan to reinforce it with the nail gun, the brad nailer that I have. Optional. That's totally optional. You don't have to do that. You want to push it together, make sure that it's flush against there, and then if you choose to use a brad nailer or whatever you have, or screws, as long as it's longer than 1 inch, you can do that. But just know that the wood glue does very well on it. Once the glue has dried and everything is secure, you want to go back and rub your hands across the sides that meet and make sure they are flush. If you feel anything when you rub your hand across that doesn't feel even, feel free to get your sander or your sanding paper and just rub across that so that it will feel smooth. All right, so we're ready for the next step, which will be staining the wood, the box, and I will be using dark walnut. You want to put a thin layer on there. You don't have to really splotch it on because you'll have to wait until it completely dries. Okay, so this is all dried and it's been about 4 hours. It wasn't very much to dry this time, and plus I put a fan on it, so that might have helped it along, but at any rate, it's dry. It's thoroughly dry. So now the next step is to create the whitewash mixture. This is what contributes towards making this appear to be weathered wood. So I love this part. So anyway, I have Valspar 2000. This is a high-hide white flat paint. I need to mix that with some water. I need to dilute it in water, and 1 part water, 1 part white paint. And you get this and you just want to paint it, the strokes from left to right, follow the direction of the grain, and just make sure. Right now there will be spots that you miss, but that's not the important part right now. The important part is getting it down there. You want to get this and you want to rub it in the direction of the grain. Just make sure you're rubbing it down into the stained wood. On the inside, make sure you get all the little corners that you might have missed when you was painting it a minute ago. Just the inside walls. And just go in the direction of the grain. And now for the weathered look, we'll need 80 grit sandpaper. And if you have a sand block, cut the paper, wrap it around the sand block. Or if you don't have a sand block, like the 1x4 that we cut earlier, maybe you can cut a piece of that wood, you know, in about this shape and wrap the paper around it. But what we'll do is we will lightly, not abrasively, just sand over. We're getting ready to weather the wood. Okay, so here we go. Just lightly sand over, going with the grain, not against the grain, and in areas. And this is your choice as to how often or how lightly you sand, or which areas you want to sand a little harder than others. But you should see it starting to come together after just a few strokes. When you think that you have it where you want it and how you want it to look, just stop and wait until we go to the next step. But it should look like old wood. Now that we've gotten it sanded to our liking, it's time to seal it and protect it. All this goodness, let's protect it. With polyacrylic, and it's water-based polyacrylic protective finish. Is by Minwax. So I'll probably, like I usually do, put about 3 coats on here, and that way, as you change things out of it or just something, you know, it's protected. So the centerpiece is all dried and it's ready to be put to good use. And as always, I do thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I have something special for those of you who have hung in there with me to the very end. I have a bonus video. It's a short video that I'd like to share with you. I think you'll enjoy it. Are you ready? let's go. I love color when I'm working with different things. I like to add a splash of color if I can, if it makes sense. So this is no different, but this time, instead of just showing you the centerpiece, I will show you an idea that I had to add color with a twist. So hang on for the ride, because I'll go really quickly. Since you've already sat through the other video, I won't take up much of your time, but I will use these things for decoration, and I think they're all Dollar Tree things, with the exception of the matte finish spray, acrylic spray, and this is what I used it for. I have these plants, these flowers that I picked up from Dollar Tree. I went outside because when you shake them, there's some stuff that falls off of them. So I went outside and sprayed the sealant on it to keep them from taking this off of each of them, because I'll put my own on there. It's a little bit larger. Okay, so with the pails, I will add bags instead of my phone. I'll add bags to them until they get high enough. Measure it with the candle. I think that's about as high as I want it to go. And what I will do, I'll get these white rocks, and I will hold the candle in place while I put rocks around the sides of it to hold it in place. Now, this is what it will look like on the inside when you look at it from the top, but because I like color, and because I'll be working with these flowers here for my centerpiece, I decided this would be really pretty and unique. I dyed some rocks, and I will leave a link in the description of how I did that. So now, on top of the white rocks, you shouldn't have any white rocks showing after you've added the okay, so here are the 3 pails that I filled with candles and rocks. And now what I will do is I will sit them inside of the centerpiece. Pull this over here so that you can see, and try to space them. I will add flowers and to the areas that are open, and I will add Spanish moss to fill those. So what you want to do is cut it in half, and then cut this in half. And stick it on the sides in between each of the pails.